Okay, so we're finishing up, getting close to our test. We're going to run our DWV test today, and that is filling the DWV pipes to VTR with water, which means we're going to start down in the basement, inflate all the test plugs, and fill the system all the way to the roof, which is 3 stories, with water. And that is the leak test for all the drainage and vent pipes. Another thing that we got done was the condensate drain for the Navions, not to support or knock down any manufacturer, but this is what was spec'd out on the job. This is what was purchased, and this is what we were told to install. So the way I normally do it is most jobs have a learning curve, meaning you don't know what you're dealing with until you go at least a couple months, 2-3 months on a system. And by that I mean unless you do tests ahead of time, and nobody's really going to pay for that, for water hardness, the type of water, what's in the water, how it will affect the plumbing, how it will affect the pipes. So for these guys, our policy usually is once a year to service them. That means anything that's going on, leaks, yada, 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 we won't let it go past 9 months to 12 months. And if we install it, that's part of our contract. Some people can waive that, and then they're on their own. So every 9 to 12 months, they are serviced, descaled. That goes for hot water heaters and boilers, whatever service is recommended by your manufacturer. And along with that, it's not on this one yet, but there actually is a little XLS spreadsheet that's checked off by date and initialed what happens every 9 months, what was changed, what was done, and that record is held for the manufacturer in case there are any problems, and it has proven to be very useful. So the latest thing we added was the condensate drain, and a simple adapter here to a clear tube that allows us to see that the unit's condensing, that water's getting out. For example, it's not clogged up in here. And in this case, we just use 3/4 PVC. This end of the PVC guy is not glued, neither is this end right here glued. And that's because we could pull it out. And in the case that it gets clogged, you can rod it and clear it. And around here, it picks up this unit. Again, this is not glued, so you can pull it out and clean it. In the end, it comes down to here. This is glued. This is not. This one will be glued when it's done, but will not be glued is this 90 and this last piece. And what's going to happen with that is going to drop down into the indirect drain, which is trapped. And what's going to happen with this can, as I spoke before, you'll see in a later video, is we're going to make a honeycomb out of it. So the pipe will go in, able to be drained, but this will be altered in a manner that if it clogs, the water will come up and spill out. And not be able to submerge the indirect. And in here is where you'll set your air gap, or whatever distance is needed or required by code to the flood level. So don't forget your air gap. If this was out like this, you take this off, your air gap would be that distance, wherever the distance determines, because you don't want it down inside. So your air gap will be up here, because this is the flood level rim. So if this clogs, here's where it will overflow. So we're going to set that flood level rim with this apparatus by altering it, that if the water was to clog up, it's going to get a relief in here, and that will be our new flood level rim. Not the exact, not the flood level rim that you think it's going to be, but you'll see in a later video how that works. And that enables to keep it clean. The only thing left on the Navions are the blowdowns for the T&Ps. I didn't put those on because, as you know, they have to hang down, I think it's 4 to 6 inches above the floor. And right now, there's too much activity in this mechanical room, and I don't want somebody to whack into them. They'll probably go in on the final inspection after this room is closed off to traffic of anyone going in and out. Little tidbit, the HVAC unit was pushed over, and some of the craziness up here in the ductwork straightened out. Instead of 2 rhombus, you have almost squares now where they could be capped off. This, as you can see, is so crooked, it's ridiculous. And I think what's going to happen is this, the screws are going to be removed from this plenum, and this is going to be pushed over so that it's level, and then that piece repaired somehow. Still to be seen for this thing to actually fire up. I also noticed that the coil, when they took it out of the crate, if you look back in previous videos, what I was mentioning before these guys got fired was they uncrated the furnace and the coil, and they just had it laying around. So it took a beating before it got to this position. Why they did that, I don't know. I have uncrated them, take measurements, stuff like that, but then crate them back up and put them out of the way so nobody can get to them. And the reason I know they're beat up, or another reason I could see, is this adapter won't screw into this hole because it's hitting here. And if you look at it, the coil is so close to the skin. See, if you look at it, I can move it. And besides the fact, here's a dent mark, and I saw other marks on it. So it was beat up. And what happens is, you know, forget it's sheet metal surrounding the coil, and there's not much inside to hold it to it. So all you gotta do is take the stand, rock and roll it, let it roll over on the floor, get banged around, and you can misalign the what's going on inside that sheet metal square box, which is what it is. And one of the indicators is you look at the holes here, which are the drains for the coil. And when you knock it out of alignment, it's harder to get something to screw into those holes, you know, which are just plastic. And what kind of sucks about that is they are just plastic. So it's easy to cross thread them if you don't take care of your coil. So note to anyone, take pride in what you do. And a quick comment about the trolls on YouTube. Have at it. I mean, I saw one guy, I had to delete him from my channel, who was just talking crazy stuff about you can't allow traps under the floor, and there's a code for this and that and the other. And, you know, the trolls do exist. They obviously they're keyboard warriors. They have nothing better to do than to go on YouTube and try to make it bad for other people. We are not touting that we know everything. I always say You can learn something from everyone. And it makes people jealous to sit out here and watch people share good information. And as I said before, this is 4 generations of what we do. I was born into this. I wouldn't sit here and purposely try to mislead. I'm just sharing what's going on. Gotten good feedback. Thank you to all the good people on YouTube who share some really great stuff. I can tell by the comments who are master levels along with me, meaning 40 plus years of doing this. I could tell who are new plumbers. I can tell just by your comments. It's not hard. Like I said, when you live this life, it is not hard. Just by one sentence, one comment kind of gives me an idea if it's a troll, if it's someone who's serious. I've had great questions. I've learned. So keep it up. Trolls have at it, and people who are leaving good comments, please have at it as well. This videos started as one purpose, and now is great because we're sharing information about code. I saw one in Idaho, a person in Utah, and we were talking about things that we do across all 50 states in the union. And I think that's great stuff, because if we're going international, then the masters need to share this information, because it's going to help the younger people who are coming along. I mean, don't forget, I'm on my way out, man. This is, I won't be around much longer, or I don't know how much longer that is, but I'll be around surely less time than someone who's in their 20s or teens who decides to become a master in this trade. So I want to share as much as I can and make it easier for them. And I still say, no matter how long you're in here as a master, you will always be in a position to learn something. So thanks a bunch. Keep it going. See you on the next one.